I don't think Madame Renaud had too many problems, but I tell you, if she had any problems with anybody, I would hope that it wouldn't be me. I wouldn't want to be on the other side because she was not afraid to take up any situation, and she was like one of the leaders of the uh, persons for liberation, like the Americans, and anything to do with the liberation of France, and the continuation of the friendship for the Normandy people with the Americans and the British, of course, because the British were also airborne when they come in, the airborne soldiers, and glide them in. So we had and would have a great friendship, but I'm really not familiar with any other arguments that she might have had. But she would put forth of what memorials should be raised in the town and the respect that we should have. Uh, and she was one of the leaders that every anniversary of D-Day they'd have a function, and she'd have the little boys marching with their uniforms and with American flags. So she was responsible for that, and asked one time that I had a good friend who was a first sergeant, command sergeant major, bring over some uniforms, of course, uh, that he got from the 82nd Airborne Quartermaster. Said, well, we don't think these uniforms are too good anymore. And I don't know how we got appropriated them, but he'd bring them over, and the mothers would reduce them and sew them down, cut them down so they'd fit their little boys. And he was command sergeant major for many years and went over there. A great fellow, still alive. He still lives down in Fort Bragg. I won't mention his name because the quartermaster may still be looking for those uniforms.
But that was Madame Renaud's idea, right?
That was her idea. And, she invited over one of the astronauts, and he would come over one year and was the guest, of the group of people around the Sainte Eglise and Boulogne, that area.
I think actually, was that John Glenn? Because I think Maurice
Yes.
said that he was a chauffeur while he was
Yeah,
there.
that was astronaut John Glenn, and he was invited over. We have photographs of him up at Boulogne and Sainte Eglise. Madame Renaud had a big interview with Dwight Eisenhower, sitting right out in front of the lawn of the Sainte Eglise Church. That's been on television, and so she interviewed Dwight Eisenhower, and Dwight Eisenhower, in fact, interviewed her. So right in front of the church of Sainte Eglise, across the street from the pharmacy.
She's dealt with a lot of important people through the
Oh,
years.
she was invited everywhere, and she was a poet laureate of France, and a very respectful woman, and a leader. And to this day, and God rest her soul, and the mayor, who were buried together in Normandy, that she put all this together because in her heart, she knew what a mother was feeling when she got that telegram. We're sorry to say that your son was killed in action. And so she knew that. And she saw the boys laying outside on the church ground across the street from her home. Dead Americans and dead Germans. But she knew what death was. She saw it. She was there. And could only imagine what a mother was going to feel. So when they opened up the cemetery and brought all the bodies to Sainte Eglise, and had the big American cemetery there long before Omaha Beach or Colleyville, and that's when she begot this. So she never forgot, and it was in her heart because she had such a big heart and such love, and could think that what would ever happen if these were my sons? And she had Henri Jean and Paul and Maurice Renaud. How would she feel if one of them went to America or in a war and didn't come back? So she's the one that began all of this, and it's still going. God rest her soul.